The machines hissed and clicked beside my son's broken body. ICU lighting doesn't flicker, but it still feels like a horror movie set. Cold, sterile, too bright for what should have been a quiet hell. The doctor's voice was robotic. Minimal chance of regaining consciousness. I nodded. Not because I accepted it, because I couldn't think of anything else to do. My wife squeezed my arm. "I'll get us something from the cafeteria." Her touch lingered. Too light, too fast. The door shut behind her. Silence. I stood, walked to the bed, adjusted his blanket out of habit. That's when I felt it. A ridge. Paper thin. Folded. Hidden beneath the mattress foam like a secret trying not to breathe. I reached in, slow, pulled it free. My hands didn't shake. They should have. The note was in my son's handwriting. I recognized the slant, the loops of his Y's. Just 6 words. Dad. I heard Mom last night. I didn't move, didn't blink. The walls around me began to hum, like they knew something I didn't. Last night, he'd crashed the next morning. I folded the note carefully, slid it into my jacket. By the time she returned, I was already sitting. She handed me a sandwich. They had turkey. Her smile was thin, too rehearsed. I watched her eat, observed every blink, every moment her fork paused mid-air, like she was choosing a lie. "I need some air," I said. She didn't stop me. Why would she? She thought I was grieving. I was, but not the way she assumed. I started with her phone. She'd left it charging in the kitchen drawer 2 nights ago. Password was our anniversary. So poetic. Deleted messages aren't really deleted. Call logs told me she'd spoken to a number multiple times, late, mostly around midnight, always when I was away for work. I traced it. Private investigator. A favor from a former client. No questions asked. He sent me what I needed. A name. A man. Married. 2 kids. Works in her office. Middle management. She'd hidden it well. Or maybe I just hadn't been looking. 2 weeks passed. I visited the hospital daily, sat beside my son, stared at his motionless chest, listened to the monitors. He was the only thing that kept me from unraveling. But the silence had started to speak. I found another note under the bed, dated a week before the crash. "Dad, I think she's meeting someone. I don't know what to do." He knew. He didn't tell me. And he still loved her enough to protect her. That's the kind of heart I never had. I was raised to bury the truth. He tried to write it down. The report arrived in a plain envelope. DNA comparison. Not of me, of my son. I needed to know if he was mine. He always felt like mine. That should have been enough. But I needed facts now, not feelings. Results: 99.99% probability. He was mine. And that's when the anger melted. It wasn't about betrayal anymore. It was about theft. She had stolen something sacred, his trust, his childhood peace. And then she drove him, forced him into silence. I waited until she sat beside him the next evening. She was scrolling her phone, wearing that tired mask of grief. I handed her the note, not the DNA report, just the words. She read them, froze. Her lips parted, but no sound. She looked at me. I didn't blink. She whispered, "You went through his things?" Wrong response. I stood up, leaned in. "He heard you." I didn't need to raise my voice. That would have let her feel like we were equals in this war. We weren't. I traced your calls. I know his name. I know the hotel, the hours, everything. She paled. I stepped closer, whispered, "You didn't just cheat. You made our son your alibi." She tried to defend. "I never meant—" "No," I cut her off. "You just didn't care if it killed him." I handed her the second note. He knew. And he still loved you. She broke, finally, crumpled into herself like guilt had weight. But I didn't stay to see her cry. I walked out, left her sitting there, alone with a boy who could no longer speak for himself. It's been 5 days. He hasn't woken. He may never. But I still sit by him, Read aloud. Not prayers, not fairy tales, truth. I read every note he left, even the ones that tremble in ink, the ones that ask me questions I can't answer. Sometimes I imagine he hears me, not because I need hope, because I need him to know I see now everything. I no longer speak to her. I left the house, kept the bed, the couch, the walls, left her the silence, the one she taught him to live with. And the last thing I told her was the first thing I believed in months. You broke her. You don't get to break me.